Okay, hold on. God dang it. Hey, yo, what's up, Tony? All right. So it seems like everything is it's just slowed down. I looked at the news for tomorrow. I mean, the only thing we have is ADP employment change at. Let me make sure this is the right time. Yeah, this is Central Time. GMT 6, Central Time. Or that's not right. That is not right. Okay. All right. Yeah, so we got ADP employment change at 7:15. I mean, it's not necessarily a big deal, but yeah, it just seems like all the markets are slowed down today. What's going on? Yeah, I don't think this shit gonna come back. So I just do this tomorrow. Just do this tomorrow. All right. Actually, I was considering this. Let me look at this because I see a lot of people alpha futures. Hold on, guys. My God. I'm not gonna talk. Donald's trying to double team me by trying to cry and stuff about stuff that don't matter. Go your ass to bed. It's bedtime. Even though it doesn't feel like it's like, dude, it's like 8:30. It does not feel like it's 8:30. It doesn't even feel like it's 9:30. Dude, I don't know what the hell. Every time when time moves forward, I feel like I'm on another planet when it comes to time. I looked up at the clock and was like, "Oh shit, it's 7:20." That's usually when well, that's not usually. That's when I feed my daughters before I hop on stream, and it didn't feel like it was time to feed them, even though we moved forward an hour. Mm. So they got 50Ks for $79 a month. That's pretty good, actually. Minimum trading days, profit target, scaling plan, maximum drawdown. Oh, profit split is like oh, okay, 70 to 90%. What's up with that? All right, so the payout policy. Hey, yo, what's up, bro, kid? The first and second payout is a 70% profit split. The fuck? All right. Dude, I have no clue why people like alpha futures, but that is insane, dude. Dude, yeah, I know. That is insane. Why the fuck are you trading with alpha futures? People are like, dude, I mean, the reason why I looked at this is because my TikTok feed is now feeding me a bunch of these kids trading, and I can understand why like these firms are making millions of dollars because uh, these kids are gambling. They're already hooked to gambling, and this is where most of these funds are getting their money from is these kids. And they're like, yo, yeah, man, we're alpha futures. And I was like, okay, yeah, I'll look at it. Yeah, alpha futures can keep all of their accounts because I'll be down. I don't even like splitting 90%. I don't like that shit. I am not giving a firm 70 or 30% of my winnings, bro. Like that's crazy. Let's do the math on that. Let's do the math. Like, dude, that's a lot of money. That is a lot of money. 30%, 20%. That is a lot of money. So let's just say that you had like a $1,000 payout, right? I mean, obviously, well, let's say like 1,500 because that's obviously easy. So you're basically giving the firm $450 of your winning, and you're only leaving with $1,000, $1,050. Man, that doesn't even sound right when I say that. $1,050. 1,050. Anyway, that is insane. $450 to the firm. Insane. Insane. And then you can earn 10% more on your third and fourth payout. The firm knows people usually don't get to that third and fourth payout. You lucky, some people are lucky if they get past their second payout. They're not getting past that second payout. And I mean they got the data. They know this. They know this. It's rare getting past that five payout. And in the same account, that's super rare. Only a small percentage of traders are doing that. It says trader must request payout from their dashboard. And then doesn't Alpha Future also has like you can't scalp or something like, or it's like a time base. I think a lot of the firms are doing that to where if you can't hold a trade, you can't get a windfall trade less than like a minute, or you have to hold it for a specified period of time so it can qualify as a trade, and you can only have so many of that. That might have been top one. Never mind. Let me take that back. That might have been top one. I will never trade with top one because of that. I mean, none of my trades will be that long, but just the audacity to just take away my profits. I don't know if they're still doing that, but to take away my profits because it didn't meet a standard, yeah, that's a no bueno. Not for real. And we're still talking about alpha futures. Or are you talking about top one? Yeah, nah, I'm good. I mean, there's so much better like honestly, I really don't understand like how these other firms that's not in like in the big three survive because well, it's not the big three anymore because you have Apex, Top Step, Tradeify, Lucid is now part of that conversation. Trade Day is a part of that conversation. Like the firms that people are going to gravitate to. Obviously, Top Step and Apex are probably neck and neck with being number one. Apex probably is number one. Top Step is number two, and everybody else falls underneath that. But Top Step, I'm seeing a lot of people on TikTok are saying that they don't trust Top Step anymore and yada yada yada, which is not good. TikTok is a business killer. It's a business builder or a business killer now. Top Step doesn't really have anything to worry about. It's one of those things where it could be too big to fail. I mean, even if they lose all their customers, they'll find a way to make money somehow, some way. Uh, but I've seen so many videos about people not trusting Top Step anymore, and a lot of these other firms are playing to that. They're playing up to that loss of trust. Is like, are you tired of uh the slippage? Are you tired of your platform crashing and blah 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 blah? Yeah, come trade with us. I've seen a couple of those videos, and I was like, oh wow. Zero accounts. Traders that choose a zero account also has the ability to pay themselves out weekly. There must be a 40% consistency rule. May request a payout every 5 days. Yada yada blah blah blah. Excuse me. All right, so let's check out this zero account and see what the hell they're talking about. What is a zero account? I'm intrigued. But yeah, a 40% payout. Yeah, y'all can keep y'all accounts. I'm not interested in that. I'm not interested in that. All right, so it said zero account, Alpha Zero plan. Okay, so no activation fees on zero accounts. Oh, there's an activation fee on top of this? There was an activation fee? I missed it. Resets. Oh, there's an activation fee. They definitely don't have it right here. Oh, here it is. Wow. A 100 and okay, yeah, I'll do. Okay. So, how does Alpha Future has customers? I mean, what am I paying for again? So, there is a $150 freaking activation fee, dude, on top of giving 70% or 30% of your profits to the firm. And the prices aren't that competitive. I mean, what the hell is yo, dude? Someone has to explain this one to me because I am at a loss. I'm at a loss. Why am I paying for this? Can I swing accounts or some shit like that? I mean, is there some incentive that I'm missing? Yeah, what's up, Care Trader? Yeah, I don't know. These fake. Well, honest. Well, let me say this. Uh, Before I did this, me and my partner, my twin sis, she wanted to do like sell shirts like Spotify and shit like that. And I built with the website builder. I built a website. It's probably still up, honestly. Actually, let me see. It's probably still up. I think I still pay for it. Uh, Shit, I forgot the website's name. And I think what okay, so I think yeah, I really don't know. Anyway, I forgot it. If I found it. But what one of the things that was a feature was fake testimonials. And I stopped doing that because y'all guys know I do not like that type of shit. But because I did that and that was a feature where it would say that, oh, someone bought this, someone bought 5 of this, 10 of that, blah 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 blah. And that just really turned me off. And now when I see other websites and I see everybody with 5 stars and I guess everybody's happy over here at whatever business. Who speaks like this? Amazing, very friendly service. Who speaks like that? Nobody. Only bots do that type of shit. Like, I mean, have you left a review and used perfect English? Perfect? No, no one does that. That's how I kind of know that this is all fake. But I'm pretty sure everybody's very familiar with the secret. You don't read the good reviews, you read the bad reviews. Those are real people. Those are the real people. And I gauge a service based on how many bad reviews they have. Because if nobody is saying anything bad about the company, then it's usually good. But if you're seeing a lot of bad reviews and they're all saying the same thing, that's the real experience that you're going to get from that product or service. So, yeah, I'm not saying that these are fake, but I don't trust it. Anyway, so $150, 70% profits, 730 profit split. Says, can I hold through news? Yes, with restrictions. I don't know what that means. There's a consistency rule, which is that's 40% is decent. It's not that bad. Okay. So let's look at these zero. So the zero accounts don't have any activation fee. So there's a 90%. So okay, so what's the all right, so it looks like the alpha futures, the zero plan seems more like so I guess they only have a 50K and a 100K. You need 5 trading days. There's a scaling plan, max drawdown. Okay, I mean, yeah, this is okay. I mean, I can deal with this. This is and they only have a 50K and a 100K. Okay, that's not bad. That's not bad. I really didn't. What's the point of this right here? So advanced. So this probably must have like a trailing drawdown on it or something like that. So there's no scaling plan. Looks like they cut down on the uh, oh wow, oh wow. But that's like $400 a month though. But look how much drawdown you get though. That's pretty. But I mean that's still expensive because I think Tradify has the same thing where they give you $5,000 of drawdown. Hmm. Okay. Well, largest payout cap, one of the largest virtual payout caps, max loss limits done right, products for all analysts, lightning fast support and virtual payouts, get professional exposure. Hmm. And I'm assuming that they don't have actually let's look at their Discord. Let's look at their Discord. Let's see what their Discord is talking about. Seriously. Let's see what they're active. Okay, so looks like is that like what 20% off? Looks like they give out only 20% off on all their yeah, it looks like all they do is 20%. I guess they do like 25% here and there. They did a 40% off during Christmas, but they mostly do 20 to 25%. Okay. Okay. Well, I mean, I don't know. I'll consider it. Comparing with other firms. I don't think I've seen anybody with a 100K account with an $8,000 target. I mean, that's very misleading. That's not true. Who has a 100K account with an $8,000 profit target? Who does that? Apex doesn't even do that. Mm, okay. Well, okay. All right. So I might as well just pull this order. Well, I'll leave it on, but the one thing that I don't particularly care for about Trade C or Trade Cia or however you pronounce this thing is that it lags a lot. This thing is lagging a lot. I don't like that. And this will probably be the last time I actually use this platform actually. Yeah, I definitely agree. Because it seems like there's zero accounts are the only ones that make sense. But yeah, I really don't like I'm still thinking that maybe I'm missing something. Maybe I'm missing something. I guess they think because it's cheaper. Because I mean, if you think about it, I guess. Well, I mean, aside from the 50K, the 50K is reasonably priced. I mean, I think I'll get a 50K from these guys. Yeah, 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 yeah. That makes sense. Yeah, that makes sense because yeah, I mean, that's actually so that's something else that, I learned along the way as well. Affiliates. If you're going to start a business, you have to have affiliates. You don't have to, but you kind of have to if you want to see like real success because it's going to be your affiliates that actually that's going to move your company forward. Because I mean, regardless, I mean, as a consumer, we really don't think about this because we don't have we don't have to worry about having inventory and not being able to move it. So I know I had a limit here. I know I didn't cancel it. Did I accidentally cancel it? I know I had a limit sitting here. So I don't know what happened to that. But when you have inventory, whether it be virtual inventory or physical, tangible inventory, you got to move it. You have operational cost, and if you have product, you got to move your product. And as a business, there's already a stigma. I mean, honestly, it's not even a stigma, it's human nature. We don't like when other people are doing better than us. We don't like that. That's why you really don't see none of the big brands present themselves as a business. They they present themselves as kind of a friend or something that you can be a part of. like a club or something like that. Or like Apple. Apple's a good example. Uh, Apple has a big ecosystem, and its users, for whatever reason, or people feel like when they have an iPhone that they're richer than most people. It's like, oh, you have an iPhone, and iPhone does a very great with the blue and green text. It's like, oh, you're a blue text or you're a green text, stuff like that. They're not presenting themselves as a business. They're presenting themselves as something that you can be a part of to avoid our humans' natural instincts to hate on other people because you got something that they don't. And people won't listen to you if you say, hey, buy my product, but they will listen to someone that they trust, someone that they feel aligns with what they align with. That's why endorsements and recommendations are so powerful because someone can be very undecided about you, and all it takes is a good recommendation from someone that they trust, and all of a sudden now they see you in a different light. The same thing, that's why slander, that's why people sue each other for defamation all the time because defamation is really damaging if said by the right person. Now, let's just say that, I don't know, the crackhead down the street. Well, honestly, depending on who's listening, the crackhead down the street can also damage your reputation if the crackhead down the street says, yeah, uh, we're always hitting crack every Tuesday. Then because he's a crackhead and he associated you with him, people are going to believe that you're a crackhead with him and y'all do crack on every Tuesday. But outside of that, if he said something, people it's like, oh yeah, he doesn't know what he's talking about. He's a crackhead. But let's just say like maybe the Dwayne the Rock Johnson or something said, oh yeah, he's a horrible person. Oh well, I like Dwayne the Rock Johnson. He says that this person's a horrible person. Let me not listen to him. So yeah, affiliates are very important to your business. If you do not have affiliates and you run a business, it is very damaging. Very damaging. Shit, I feel like with these prop firms, especially Apex, that's why they're as big as they are because they came in and got all the big names in trading, Top Step too. But once Top Step got their footing, I mean they kind of did away with their flock of affiliates and all their affiliates went over to the Apex. I think all the big ones are affiliated with Apex. Everybody else is scattered, but the big ones are with Apex. Mm. Or at least the ones I've seen. Yeah, that's definitely true. Honestly, I don't know why I needed to see it, but in my mind, I figured that, man, how are these firms making money? I mean, is this really sustainable? I always had a concern that these firms are going to blow up, but they're not. I see who's fueling my payouts. And I saw this infograph that was released by TopStep. I don't even know how this person got this information, but apparently TopStep alone is paying out by like at an average $40 million a month in payouts. So if they're able to afford $40 million a month in payouts, just imagine how much they're making to be able to pay that. And that's on average. Obviously, when they put the crackdown hammer on silver and gold. I think I may have. Let me see if I can find it. Hey, yo, what's up, Alfred? Let me see if I can find that. I think I got another phone. Top Step was like, I mean, Top Step didn't have to lie about it. That's what I feel like. They didn't have to lie about it. They're talking about for your safety, we're going to limit how many contracts you can trade in silver and gold. But it's for your safety. Okay. So yeah, this is the money, the payouts per month that Top Step was paying out. So it's like an average of like 40,000 for 44 million in payouts each month. And as you can see, when silver and gold was going absolutely insane, you kind of saw a little spike in October. And I'm pretty sure there was like, what the hell? What the hell? It's like, why the hell did we pay 40 million more dollars in October? And then it almost doubled in November. It basically almost doubled in December. It started to cool off in January when they started hitting those restrictions, because I think the restrictions came out the third week of January, and they got their desired results in February when the payouts literally declined under 40 million to 37 million. And I thought that was interesting. I thought that was interesting. That's Top Step. That's Top Step's payout data. Top Step's payout data. I thought that was interesting. Good old Top Step. They're the reason, like, honestly, I probably would have had way more. I mean, they probably would have put me in a live account if I was able to trade 5 contracts in gold. Honestly, I just feel like that's insane that they nerf gold so much. 2 micro gold contracts is literally a waste of time. Gold moves, but you have to catch it at the right time. And like, dude, but gold is not going to move. So with 2 contracts, you would need the market to move 250 ticks in your favor to get a $500. So just to get $500, 250 ticks. That's obviously gold is not going to do that. Obviously, gold is not going to do that. Well, actually, let me take that back. Let me take that back. That's only 25 points. My bad. It's not going to do that every day. It's not going to do it. It's going to have like one good trending leg. You have to catch it at the right spot. You have to catch 25 points every day, which can be exhausting. I'm not saying that it can't be done, especially if you break it up into scalps or something like that. But 25 points every day on 2 contracts just to get $500, that is a complete waste of time. Complete waste of time. I mean, I still had mines, but Anybody that had that $5 account, they just gave a discount when they pushed. I think, hold on, did they give everybody a discount? Well, I know that I got like a 50% discount. So instead of paying, I got a 150K account for what, $95. I forgot why they did it. Maybe if you had an account and when they moved you over because they were moving to the new dashboard, and if you had an account, you couldn't move it over. I had one more of those $5 accounts. I should have passed it, but I didn't think I didn't think that they was going to do away with it. I kept that account because I was paying for the level 2 data with TopStep, and I pushed it to a point to where I would never be able to pass it because I made like what, $30,000 one day defeating the consistency rule just so I don't accidentally pass it. It was a $5 account, $60 a year just to have a Top Step X, because that was a time where I wasn't really buying Top Step accounts. I was trading with my funded futures at the time when they had the best account that they've ever had and they got rid of. You said, is my funded futures any good? Man, I don't know, man. I don't like the fact that they switched their payout model, or not, yeah, payout model from 90 to 80%. And there is no incentive to tolerate 80%. You still have to trade 5 days. You still have to trade 5 days just to get 80% of what you made when there's literally other firms that still does the 90-10 split, which honestly is fair. I don't understand why they do it like that. It's their business, so I mean, it works for them. But that's interesting. That is interesting. So I typed in my funded futures in the search bar. You want to know what firm came up before my funded futures? Tradeify. Tradeify is the first search result that pops up when I type in my funded futures. And you want to know why they popped up first? Because it says Tradeify, my funded futures versus Tradeify. So Tradeify, so if anybody's looking for my funded futures, Tradeify has rigged it somehow to be the firm that pops up when you're searching for my funded futures. And not only is it the first option, it's saying my funded futures versus Tradeify. And if someone clicks on that and says, "Oh wow, I think instead of my funded futures, I should go with Tradeify and get an account with Tradeify instead of my funded futures." If I was my funded futures, I would take I would feel some type of way about that. I would feel some type of way about that. Yeah, Tony Gold. I mean, I would agree with Rudkit. I just don't like the fact that they have an 80%, 80-20 profit split. That's my only gripe with them. And then they did away with the only, well, actually, that's not my only gripe. That's not my only gripe with them. Oh shit. Oh wow. Hey, so the second, wow, whoa, wow. Yo, my funded futures? So I literally put my funded futures in the search bar, and they're not even the second or like I didn't even look. So the first option is Tradeify. Like, look at this. This is insane. I mean, well, I mean, I guess I am using Bing, I guess. So that could be a reason why too. So, man, what the hell? Anyway, the first option is Tradeify. The second option is Funded Futures Network, whatever that is. The next one is Funded Next, prop firm reviews, and My Funded Futures is all the way at the bottom of the page. Wow. Wow. Let's do a Google search. Let's do a Google search. My Funded Futures. And that's something else that if you have a business, you need to be the first. Like, if you need to be the first option that users or consumers see, because consumers don't think past the first option. That's why these firms or businesses compete to be at the top, at the closest to the top of the option list. And again, I did a Google search this time, and Funded Futures Network is the first option that pops up, and My Funded Futures is the second option. No one looks past like someone usually don't like a Google search. No one clicks on the second link. So it's interesting that they don't do nothing about that. That's interesting. But um, hmm. Oh, it looks like they got a 25K account. Mm, they're kind of expensive. This is kind of expensive. They got a 25K account for $49. Oh, okay, never mind. Or $35 off. Oh, so they got a flex account, 25K profit target, $1,500 max drawdown. Oh, so they got a $50 25K account, huh? Hmm. Hmm. $49 for a 25K account. Hmm. Yeah, that's definitely true. Yeah. Yep. Shit, we got a couple of shit. I think, yeah, everybody on this stream got like an account, resets, uh, and we was getting it multiple days, which was insane to think because, they would only give like 50, 100, and multiple people's like, "Yeah, I got mine. Yep, I got mine." Shit, I got a couple. A 25K account. So, hmm, huh. That's probably what I should have gotten. So $1,500, $1,000 drawdown. I think this actually might be, and then there's no activation fee on top of this. Oh, hmm. That's actually pretty good. And you can copy trade this, so I can get 3 accounts for $150. Huh? That's actually a pretty good deal. That's probably the best account, dude. That's actually a really good deal. So $1,000. Let me see this. So $1,000. Maybe I'm gonna keep the account for 9 days, 9 trades, $111. If I lose 1,111 divided by 54, that's like cool. 2 contracts. 135 times 2, 270, $1,500 divided into 5. So 300. 54 times 3. 162. 13 times 3. 4, 5. Mm. Hmm. Hmm. I wish I knew this yesterday. I wish I knew this yesterday. I wouldn't have spent all that damn money. I would have got me some My Funded Futures accounts instead of the Tradeify accounts. And My Funded Futures, the payouts are also fast. They use Rise. I think any firm that use Rise, the payouts are super fast. Super fast. Super fast. Mm. All right, so I might come back home to My Funded Futures. I think that's a good deal. A $50 account, no activation fee. The max position is 3 contracts. Just access up to 30 micros, max exposure. I don't need 30 micros. I just need 3, less than 5. Scaling. Drawdown mode is end of day. Hmm. 5 days to payout. Max payout request amount is 3K. Request profits of 50%. Profit split is 8. Dude, that's actually pretty freaking good. That's pretty good. Mm, that's pretty good. Yeah. You say you never seen me trade a 25K? Uh, well, you may have, but I was full porting those. So when Lucid came out with the 25K for like $60, I full ported those shit. So you may have. It's just I didn't trade it properly. I full ported them because it was like a single day pass. It was only $1,200. I can make $1,200 on a. I think I was trading silver, and you can get $1,200 like super fast. Like either you're gonna blow the account or it's going in your favor. And I think I only blown like what 2 of them, but I got like 3 of them passed. But then I blew those because you already know how that shit go. The shit that you pull in the eval stage for whatever reason it doesn't work on the funded stage. So when you full port into funded, you full port in the wrong direction. Because my plan was is that because it had such a small drawdown, I just needed to get like a big buffer. I needed to get over the buffer so I can have more drawdown. That was the plan. Because $1,000 a drawdown, that shit, you really only got one chance in those types of accounts. So they had a consistency rule, so I figured if I just make $2,000 on the first day, at least I have $2,000 of drawdown now because I'm over the buffer. I have $2,000 of drawdown, and I can just continue to do that and build the account up. But it didn't work out. So It could have, but it didn't. Okay. So yeah, so silver and gold is it's not doing anything. There's no need to look at Nasdaq. There's really no need because we already know that Nasdaq ain't doing shit. We already know that. Yeah, we already know that. Uh, there, the Nasdaq doesn't like the Asia session. I wouldn't even trust the move during Asia because Asia is definitely just for the market setting itself up for New York and London and New York. That's what the Asian session is for, the Nasdaq, or at least that's what Nasdaq tends to use Asia for, is to set up London and New York. Yeah, I'm not really thinking about it. I considered I consider trading CL. I consider it. I do see a consistency with CL. The CL does love the 50%. Like it does, it loves the 50%. But I don't know, man. I don't know. I told Alfred earlier that I'll trade CL. I might give CL another chance, but I don't know, man. I think CL does have potential, but I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Man, I don't know. I would have to put too much focus on CL, and I don't want to do that. So I'm just gonna focus on gold and silver. I'm not. I'm not gonna trade the Nasdaq no more. Not seriously. I'm gonna trade it for fun. I'm gonna trade the Nasdaq for fun. I'm not gonna trade the Nasdaq for, because I mean, honestly, this morning we had a bunch of good trades on Nasdaq. A lot of beautiful trades on Nasdaq. But mentally and emotionally, I was reviewing the Nasdaq over the weekend. I have identified patterns with the Nasdaq, but I don't trust it. I really don't trust it. And I'm trading with small size because I don't trust it. And trading with small size with the Nasdaq, I mean, we made a well, actually, we didn't. We made $1,100 because I got that position with gold. Gold actually pushed us to 1,100. But what I caught what like over 200 points today, and I didn't make that much money. And I just know that it's all it takes is one bad day on the Nasdaq, and all that hard work is gone. So I guess what I'm gonna do is we'll still take the trades on Nasdaq, but I'm just not gonna take it seriously. If we take any Nasdaq trades, I think I'll just take them in the sim. I don't. I really don't want to because I can't even. I don't even feel comfortable doing a journal with the Nasdaq because if I put in my journal, yeah, I was correct. The markets hit my stop, s- and after hitting my stop, it went in my direction and hit all my targets. Man, that's just gonna. I'm gonna revenge trade after that. I'm gonna revenge trade after that. Nasdaq is for gambling, and I just want to keep it that way. But Yeah, I think that's what I'm gonna start doing moving forward with Nasdaq. I would have considered going with ES, but ES is just as bad in my opinion. It's just as bad. Hmm. So, all right. So any new accounts that I get will be my funded future accounts. This is actually a really good deal. Shit. If I can pass this thing in one day, I can. I mean, 50, well, no. I mean, I can pass it if I over leverage. And I would have to accept the fact that if and then I can pass this thing in one day? Hmm. Okay. So as long as they keep these flex accounts at $50, this is a great deal. They originally have these things priced at $84 and they're giving you $35 off, which I guess it makes people feel like they're getting a deal, which it is. This is a great deal. This is probably the best 25K account on the market right now in terms of price. It's a really good deal. I would have saved a hell of a lot of money yesterday. And I would have passed a couple of these too. Instead of going for 3K. I would have had the 15K already. Yeah, okay, I'm gonna do this. All right. Moving forward, I'm just gonna get these accounts. But let's hope that I don't need these accounts. But that's the option I'll just start using moving forward. The 25Ks. Shit, I'm glad that we started talking about my funded futures because I didn't even know they had 25Ks. I was unaware that they had them. Yeah, dude, this is too much, man. That's just too much. I don't even care like that. Hmm. Oh shit, off topic. And this is off topic, man. This is not nothing traded related, but I've been watching a lot of this stuff about Iran and stuff on TikTok, and this random video came up in my feed. I'm hoping it was a skit, but the way that people were kind of talking about it, it may or may not have been a skit. But I don't. Anyway, what I saw was kind of interesting. This dude was out with his girl. I guess they were shopping, and then some random guy comes up and speaks to the girl and says, "Hey, I think you're cute. I would like your number so we can continue the conversation." Uh, and then the dude was right there, and at first you can see the dude was trying to ignore it, and then the girl looks over to him and says, "Are you not going to do anything about it? I mean, this man just came up to talk to me, blah 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 blah." And then he says that no, I want to. This is you. He's talking to you. You should choose. Either you want to choose him or you want to choose me. And then she was like, no, you're the man. You're the man. Blah, 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 blah. And he was like, nah, I want you to choose. And then she was like, you know what? Don't worry about him. Yeah, you can have my number. And she gives him his number. So, I mean, this could be a skip because I thought that was weird. But anyway, the point, uh, there was somebody commentating over this video and saying that that dude did the right thing. And I was saying to myself, no, he did not. Because what people see on the surface level is that what the guy was doing was quote unquote testing his girl because he was saying that uh if she's going to choose, well, actually it's kind of stupid when you say it out loud because it was like what would you do if, if I wasn't around and he came up to you and talked to you and asked you for his number and blah 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 blah. And I was thinking to myself like, dude, another man just literally came into your space, disregarded you as a man, and started talking to your female like you weren't there. It's not even about the female at that point. This man literally directly challenged you. Your animal instinct should have kicked in and been like, yo, the fuck? You challenging me? You challenging me? You don't see me here? There should have been no words. You should have just slapped the shit out of him because the audacity. And that's what that girl was saying. It was like, you're going to allow some other person to come up to me while I'm in your presence? I'm supposed to be protected in your presence. A man shouldn't even dare come up and approach this space while you're here because we got to know we all know that girls want to feel protected. They want to turn their brain off when they're around you. They enjoy the feeling of being free of accountability, responsibility, and their own safety. They put all that on you. And as men, that's what we do. And that's why she was saying those things. And I just found it interesting that he didn't get that. And then the people in the comment section was like, yeah, he dodged a bullet. I was like, dude, what bullet? He was supposed to do what he was supposed to do. You ain't supposed to allow no other person to enter your space and disrespect you like that. You're not supposed to do that shit. I thought that was so interesting, but then I just got to remember that we live in this new generation, man. I mean, I guess men don't think like that anymore. I guess only a certain amount of men think that way. Now, I can understand that if you weren't there and if she didn't know that you were there and you set it up and she went with it, then it's like, okay, yeah, you dodged the bullet. But what you just demonstrated to her is that she can't feel protected in your presence. That you would just allow another man to come in your space and just take what's yours. And you got to think about this because women bear children. I think we all know that. When women are pregnant, they are at their most vulnerable state. Like in today's society, we don't think about that because women are protected anywhere they go. Women can move by themselves, they can be pregnant, and they can be safe. Now, if this was the wild, wild west, living in jungles and stuff like that, and she's pregnant, this is her at her vulnerable state. She needs a strong male to protect her so she can carry child to term and deliver this child. I mean, we got to remember, it's still animals at the end of the day. These animal instincts do override logic. I mean, as traders, we know this. We know that animal instincts override logic all the time. That's why it's not that we're not disciplined. It's that our instincts are kicking in, we're in danger, and it's fight or flight. And that usually works against us in these markets. So, well, I mean, Red Kit, like I said, girls desire safety and security. I mean, she said, you're the man. What she was really saying was, are you really going to allow another male to disrespect you like this? It only takes one time for your significant other to see you in a compromising situation to where she lose respect. And as men, that's what we should strive for. That love shit. I mean, men are very. It's not a. It's like honestly, the misconception is that women are romantic. Is like no, men are romantic. Women are not romantic. That's not what they're here. They are imaginative. They love stories because of how these stories makes them feel. But it's men are the ones that are romantic. We're the ones that'll do all kind of extravagant shit just to say, "Will you marry me?" We'll spend thousands of dollars, millions of dollars uh, to show our love, to show how we feel about someone, to show how much we care about someone. That's what men do. Women don't do that. If a woman likes you, you can see the biggest sign is if she actually shares with you. It's not necessarily that women won't go out and do things for you in terms of like, like the rose petals and stuff that you see on like social media or something like that. Some will do that. But if a woman will share her resources with you, that's how you know that, okay, yeah, she really likes me for me because women don't do that normally. Even if she's intimate with someone, even if they have a child with someone, you ask her for something simple like, hey, can you get me something or can you share this with me? Yada, yada, blah, blah, blah. The first question she'll ask you is why, most of the time, if she doesn't really fuck with you like that. She's like, why would I do that? Why? But you got a real one if she was like, yeah, what's mine is yours. But anyway, kind of going back to the point. Yeah, you don't. It's not about the girl, man. At that point, another man just challenged you, and you need to slap that motherfucker and say, "Yeah, I challenge you to a duel," because that was some disrespectful ass shit. You just disregarded me as a man, and for whatever reason, you thought that you were a better option for my female, and I can't have that. And you're not fighting over the girl; you're fighting over your own. Because just think about that. Just imagine what that person's gonna go home and say to his boys. Because I mean, we're all men. What is he gonna say? Man, I took this dude's bitch. That's what he's gonna say. He ain't gonna say nothing else except that, and we all know that. It's like it's crazy, like how we're all human, but then we pretend like we're not. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. Because that's exactly what he's gonna tell his boys. Like, yeah, I took this man, like I walked up to his bitch and took that. That's exactly what he's gonna say. He's not gonna say anything else. So I thought that was interesting. I saw it on TikTok. That's why we started talking about it. But I was like, man, it seems like one thing that's constant across everything is just the dynamics between men and women in relationships and what's the right way to handle things and what's the wrong way to handle things. I've already shared that I think the only person that properly taught people how to move in relationships is Kevin Samuels. He's the only person that I've seen say that to do things the right way. Everybody else is absolutely wrong. Absolutely wrong. Now, that's why just randomly walking up to a woman because first in this video the woman had her back turned. You don't ever want to approach a woman when her back is turned because you got to remember it's safety. You're walking up behind her, you scared her, you got her in that situation, you got her back her wall her back to the wall, and her natural instincts would be to try to get away as fast as possible. It's just human nature. You don't ever want to do that. And these what they call them POAs and stuff like that, talking about yeah, this how like, dude, if you're talking to a female, you're doing it wrong. You're doing it wrong. And I'm saying this from experience. Like today at the gym, today at the gym, I got done with my run. You know what this female next to me, like, dude, this female next to me looked at me and was like, I like the way you run. I was, I was like, what? 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 I just said thank you and walked away because I have I only talk to one girl at a time now. I don't do that stuff that I used to do where I just fuck with a bunch of bitches at the same time. I don't do that anymore. But I only talk to one female at a time. And I understand that she wanted me to talk to her, but I wasn't gonna do that. But that just kind of shows like women like men that focus on themselves and build themselves. Because I didn't say shit to her. She the one that was like, "Yeah, I like how you. I mean, you look really good when you run." And she wanted me to move forward, but I was like, "Nah, can't do that. I'm already talking to somebody already. Hold on, give me a second." Well, Rocket, I mean, we in Texas. They got something to where if we both agree to fight, hey, that shit's legal, man. That shit's illegal. We're both consenting adults. Consenting adults. We fighting. But I mean, even if that's not even the case, dude, you're not walking up in my nah, that's because I'm in front of my girl. I ain't gonna hear the end of it. I wouldn't like, dude, that's like because I have an understanding of how females think, stuff like that. You don't even have to hit the dude. Just even confronting the dude is like, yo, relax. You see me right here. And then, with men, men are not necessarily confrontational because we understand that even if we get into a what's the word I'm looking for? I just had it and I lost it. Uh, if we fight each other, we both know that we can lose a lot. I think that's universal between men. No, confrontational. There you go. That's the word I was looking for. Men are kind of non-confrontational. We only, for the most part, we only fight when we have to protect something because obviously it makes sense. But if anyway, just seeing that you confront and protect her and stand up for it, I mean, that's enough. You're gonna probably get some head in the car on the way home. That's all he had to do, and that's what she was looking for. But what he did was because it made it seem like, I mean, for her, maybe logically, for him, he was thinking, I mean, this is a good opportunity to test my girl. But to her, she was thinking, you a bitch. You just let another man come up and punk you. You a bitch. I can't. I'm no longer. You don't ever want to have a woman in her masculine in terms of trying to think logically. Girls don't want to think, they want to feel, they want to experience. And that's why they usually go for the Chads, Tyrones, whoever you want to call the masculine man, to where they can give all of their problems to them so they can be in that state. And then when they start thinking, well, that's when you know that you've lost. You don't want them to think. They don't want to think either. Regardless of what they tell you, they don't want to think. They want to feel. But anyway, like I said, the only person that came close to giving the correct information to young men to have strong relationships is Kevin Samuels, in my opinion. Um, the current relationship that I'm in, it has a very strong dynamic. I've gotten tested and I've passed all the tests. She doesn't, and because I understand that women do this purposely, it's not necessarily purposely. It's an instinct. It's something that they have to do to be sure about stuff. because they're literally just trying to give all the responsibility to you. And you need to be strong enough to handle that shit. And I always tell her the same thing. I do what I'm supposed to do. That's the thing. I think that was like the first thing that I've ever told her. I do what I'm supposed to do. I don't do anything else. I do what I'm supposed to do. And that has been the mainstay in our relationship for the longest. I do what I'm supposed to do. Nothing else. Nothing else. I'm not going to compromise myself as a man. I'm not going to. You leave, you better stay gone. I don't care how long we've been together. I make that very clear. They need to feel that they don't want you to need them. They want to be the right hand to somebody that's strong, obviously. And in that situation, in that video, he showed that he wasn't strong. And then the way that she turned her back to him and says, "Okay, forget about him. Yeah, you can have my number." I was like, "Yo, that's crazy. That's crazy." And then men were agreeing with him. That was the crazy part. And people wonder why the relationship dynamics is so confusing nowadays. Is because people don't truly understand what they're doing when it comes to dating. Mm. Mm. What do you want me to tell to your wife, John? What do you mean by that? Shit, when I get to talking, I say a lot of things. It's a lot of truth. I say a lot of things. But oh, is it the do what I'm supposed to do? Yeah. If that's what you're talking about, then yes. I've told her that since the beginning. And then it's crazy because I remember the first time when I talked to her, she was trying to give me a shit test right then and there. I told her, what did I say to her? Because when we locked eyes, I was like, yeah, let me go and talk to her. And so I went up and talked to her. I was like, yeah, so damn, what did I really say to her? I said, let's have a conversation. Let's continue our conversation. I usually go to this hookah spot, and we can continue the conversation there. And then she was like, is that all you smoke? You smoke weed? I let her sit with that for a second, and I was like, yeah, so I'm about to go over to this hookah spot, and I think we should go and continue our conversation, something like that. That was a test right there. And if you missed it, it's what she was trying to do was trying to see if I was going to change my mind, if I was going to do something that she wanted to do versus what I suggested that we should do. And I was like, nah, we can go get to something if you want to join me. This is what I'm gonna do because this is what I do anyway. When hookah was good here in Texas, now that shit sucks. I don't do that shit no more. But uh, I like tobacco, but I don't smoke cigars. I like to just smoke hookah. But anyway, and then ever since then, you know, we don't fight because I don't fight her. I don't. She can give me her emotions. I'll listen to her, but I'm not gonna fight you about nothing. We're not gonna fight about anything. I'm too focused on what I'm trying to do, and that's something else. If you have a wife, girlfriend, and you're putting your focus on her, she doesn't want that. She doesn't. I promise you. If you said that I'm gonna start a business and you start focusing on that business, and then maybe she'll say, "Oh, can you help me with this? Can you help me with that?" Blah 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 blah. And said, "No, I got this business that I'm focusing on. I'm trying to better myself, and I'm trying to expand, and I'm trying to build a business. I got a purpose that I need to fulfill." And just watch the changes. Watch the changes. That's what they want. They want to be a character in a story. That's what they want. They want to be what's that shit called? What's that girl's name? Like in Twilight or Beauty and the Beast. You see how and Beauty and the Beast? I mean, it's literally telling you right there. I mean, yeah, it's low key about bestiality too, but it's right there in front of you. There is a beast that lives in a castle, and even though he kidnapped that girl, did she try to run away? What she started doing? She started cooking and cleaning. She fell in love with the beast. And then what happens when he turned into a damn he turned back into a human? I mean, they got married and shit, yeah, but she was in love with the beast. She was not in love with the man. She was in love with the beast. And that is what you should strive for. Become that beast. Anyway, shit. You know, I'm not. Well, I guess. How do I want to say that? If you're talking about overthinking and stuff like that, when they imagine, I feel like the correct way to say is that they're not thinking. They're not thinking about anything productive. They have an overactive imagination. But we're not saying thinking in terms of them not being smart or intelligent. We're not saying that because women mature faster than men. Women mature faster than men. That is definitely a truth. Uh, the reason why women go to school more than men is because women are more mature and they like to learn stuff. Men, we prefer to use our hands. We're more engineering. We like to build things. We're crafts. We don't see any value in going to school or really a real education because at the end of the day, that's not going to really put anything on the table in the short term. Now, the men that had the opportunity to go to school and still be able to provide, that's something different. But for the most part, as soon as a man is put on, or a young male is put out into the world, he has to figure out a way how to survive. And if he has any children, he has to now figure out how to way to provide. And school is a waste of time, obviously. So yeah, women mature faster than men. That's 100% accurate. But over time, men catch up. Over time, usually a man matures like in his 30s, late 30s going into 40s. That's when a man fully matures. Obviously, in his 20s, he's still kind of going through that puberty stuff like that, and he's not 100% aware of the world yet. Now, we're not saying that that's every person, but majority of men, yeah, majority, yeah, they usually mature in their 30s, 40s. Women are maturing like in their teens, and we're not talking about when I said maturing, we're talking about awareness. We're talking about how to move in this world, if that makes sense. Women are very good. I mean, obviously, because they, in the realm of their emotions, they're emotionally intelligent. Women love words, so they speak and they know more words. I mean, if you want to, they're great at communicating, even though it may not be clear. Communication is very important to them, being able to talk. But at the same time, we're not talking about speaking for productivity. We're talking about speaking to elicit emotions. Now, men, we like to when we speak, it's for something productive, or at least for the most part, we're speaking to be productive. We want to speak, we speak in a straightforward way without any of the fluff. Women will speak and they will use words that illustrate certain things like, yeah, it was a cold winter day. And when she says that, you're going to imagine, or usually you imagine, a cold winter day. I mean, that's how they use their words. Men use our words to be straight and direct and to a point. But that's also true because drama elicits emotions. If you really just simplify men and women, men are logic, women are emotions. Women's emotion counteracts our logic. It's honestly, if you really want to understand, how women think, they just filter their thoughts through how things make them feel. That at the end of the day, that's what's going to supersede anything. They don't care if someone saved their life. Like just imagine this. Like if you save someone's life and depending on how she feels about it, that's how she's going to interpret it. If she didn't want to be saved by you, but she wanted to be saved by me, she was like, "Oh my God, he assaulted me. He saved me without my consent." Yada yada blah blah blah. Logically, you're thinking, "I just saved your life. You should be thanking me." And logically, that makes sense. But to her, she didn't want you to do it. And because she didn't want you to do it, you made her feel uncomfortable. And that's what she's focusing on. She's not even focused on that you saved her life. She's focusing on how you made her feel. I mean, it's just that simple. It really is. So anyway, that turned into a thing. I guess I say all that to say this. Most of the information on the internet is basically wrong. Especially if, kind of like how these gurus are trying to teach people how to trade and they don't know how to trade themselves. They're really good at marketing. They're really good at getting people to trust them. And when it's time to show, hey, this is what I've made in the markets, they're photoshopping their results. It's like the same old, Same thing with everybody is giving their opinions and their advice on relationships, and they're not getting the results. They're not getting the results. Because I'll tell you from experience, all that shit that I've seen on the internet, that's just not. I mean, I guess it really depends on what you want because either you're going to be a trick in terms of you got to pay for everything. She's going to require you to pay for everything for her to be in your presence or for her to acknowledge you, or you're going to be the person that she desires and that she wants to be around. And usually, the person that she wants to be around is the person that's not paying attention to her. That she wants to. It's a challenge. It's exciting. Uh, anyway, mm, yeah. Anyway, but I will say this: I really do enjoy TikTok, but I definitely have to limit the amount of time that I'm on it for sure. I definitely need to limit the amount of time. I'm not on it all day, but in my free time, that's exactly what I'm doing. I'm just on TikTok scrolling for like give myself 30 minutes, just scroll on TikTok, and then I get back to work. But if I didn't have the discipline that I have to tell myself to stop, I can see myself being on TikTok all day. Actually, I have done that. That's why I blocked it for like a very long time because I was on TikTok like one Saturday, and Saturdays are my freebie days, so it wasn't a big deal. But I just didn't like the idea that I was on TikTok all day and I didn't even notice that the entire day went by. It didn't feel like 24 or however long I was up went by. It didn't feel that way at all. 12 hours, 12 plus hours felt like moments on that app, and I didn't like that, so I blocked it for a while. I reactivated it because I wanted to be informed about what's happening in Iran and the stuff that because you're not going to see that stuff on Instagram or YouTube or maybe Twitter or X, but TikTok is is a great area, is a great place to get unbiased, filtered, bias, just information in general. And that's why I feel that the government wanted to get control over it because according to them, apparently TikTok TikTok dictates like kind of like how X used to be, Twitter, where all the politicians were on Twitter, and if you didn't have a following on Twitter, your political dreams could just be killed just based on that. And now that's TikTok. The new generation's on TikTok. If you're not on TikTok, capturing the minds of this newer generation, uh, 10, 20 years down the line, you're going to be a nobody. And that's how these brands embed themselves into the memories of as much people as possible. McDonald's is a great example. Those golden arches, supposedly, uh, those golden arches, the McDonald's symbol is more recognizable than the Christian cross. Now, I don't necessarily believe that, but I wouldn't say that it's not believable. The McDonald's arches is comparable to the Christian cross. And the reason why is because McDonald's embedded that brand into as many people as possible. And that's why people recognize it and will always recognize it. Same thing with Coca Cola. People will recognize that brand. I'm pretty sure people associate Santa Claus with Coca Cola because they did that on purpose. They associate Coke with Santa. So, but yeah, TikTok's pretty cool. You definitely need to. I don't let my kids. I don't let my kids really scroll or do anything because it's just so dangerous. I can scroll because I don't have a short term memory or not short term memory, a short term attention span. I can consciously scroll. I'm doing it because it's relaxing, it's enjoyable, and I can stop when I need to get some things done. Kids, on the other hand, they don't have that. They don't have those boundaries up yet. And with those short term, short form videos, and just to be able to flick and have a not being able to focus on things for a very long time, that is very dangerous to kids. So I don't allow my kids to scroll. I force my kids to watch the whole episode of whatever they're watching because I don't want them to say, "Oh, I'm bored of this," and then they switch to something else. Now they don't have to sit there and watch it, but uh, that TV show is going to be on for until it goes off, and I'm consciously doing that because I don't want my kids to not be able to focus long term. So okay, well, the market basically did nothing. Uh, I mean, I guess we're now getting a pullback, but I think we got a double top. It's just better just to come back tomorrow morning because the market basically trended higher. We really didn't get any opportunity to on gold. CL. I mean, honestly, I'm trying to figure out where this move came from because I was looking at it and yeah, I don't know, man. I feel like, I mean, in hindsight, you're just like, oh man, why didn't you get into this? Man, this move came out of nowhere. I mean, there's a break of structure here. There's a break of structure there, but man, you had to. Yeah, this is not a trade that I would take. I wouldn't even trust CL in this. I wouldn't trust it. But I mean, it worked. So uh, it worked. But I wouldn't trust it. I'm always waiting for a breakout. I mean, even though it did break structure to the left, I'm always looking for a breakout of a major high, a major swing, because I know that as soon as it breaks out and pulls back, I can literally get in at these areas for an easy winner. This right here, I wouldn't take this trade. I wouldn't particularly take this trade, especially not in a funded account. I would not take that in the funded account. This could have gone either way, kind of like this, where you got a false breakout and then it crashes down. It's just in this situation it worked out. But from if you take that trade 10 times waiting for a breakout, you can see that CL does the same thing. That's why I always say that I've always faded CL at highs, because CL has a tendency of failing the breakout and then crashing out. Double bottoms, double tops, failed breakouts. That's bread and butter on CL. Bread and butter. You see, going to take the pullback at 90? You're going to take it short? This actually might. So I think what probably might happen here is that we'll get a breakout and it'll pull back and we'll see a continuation. It's highly likely that it's going to see continuation. Are you asking why? Well, because the reason why I think this thing will continue, and I could be wrong. I don't trade CL anymore. I'm only going off of what I remember how she used to trade. But we got price failing to take out prior lows. We have a trend line here. So, and then we've already had the market kind of dump, dump, dump. And even though the bears tried to sell at this area, they failed to sell it. So, I mean, if you're going to fade this, I would just keep a tight stop, because I mean, it could reject again. I'm not saying that it won't, but I think that this thing breaks out. I think it breaks out. I think it goes higher. And I was actually have an area marked out on the chart. So I think so. Well, this is just me. I don't want to say something and someone's like, "Well, Sherm said it." Hopefully not. I don't want that. But the area that I'm looking at two areas on CL. I'm looking at 92.10 and I'm looking at 93.50. Those are the two areas that I'm looking at for the bears to come back in and short it. Oh, okay. Oh, saying. So Lone Wolf says he got back from Panda's scent work class tonight. She loves the searches and get a real sense of accomplishment when she finds. Yeah. Are you talking about your girl, your child, your daughter, your girl? And that's something that I have to. That's something I was actually thinking about at the gym today too. Oh, your dog. Okay, okay, all right. Yeah. That's something I have to think about too. I got two daughters, and this idea, this random thought came into my head and said that I better learn how to be an event planner. Oh, okay. Yeah, that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. And I'm pretty sure it's the same concepts too. They probably use the same concepts to train the dogs how to identify different drugs. That's pretty cool though. Where did you find the class? Was it something like on the internet or AKC, the Kennel Club? Mm. Yeah, I've already told y'all guys about my dog. I will never get another dog. I can't. I'm not. I can't deal with that type of heartbreak again. I can't do that. I don't ever want to deal with that type of heartbreak ever again. Animals are so pure and innocent, and dogs are awesome. And it sucks that they don't have a long lifespan. That sucks. And when they go, they take a part of you with them. And yeah, I know shit. I'm not ashamed to say it, but I don't cry. But man, I cried for like 2 days, 2 or 3 days when that happened. That was hurtful. I was like, oh, I can't go through this again. I can't go through that again at all. Oh, wow. So you say you're on number 7 and 8? Yeah, well, lone wolf, stronger than most. Because like I said, I couldn't handle it after the first one. I said, yeah, never again. Never again. I still think about him too, man. I still think about him. Never again. It's like losing. Yeah, it's never again. Mm-mm. I'm not strong like that. I don't got time to be in my emotions like that. Dude, me and my girl at the time was arguing, and I left the house, and then my brother calls me and tells me about it. And I go back to her, was crying and shit. And she was ready to fight me again, and then she saw that I was sad, and then she was like, "Oh, come here, go back in, go back in." I cried in her fucking chest. Oh my god, it was so good. uh, oh my god, that was hilarious. As much as I don't like her, uh, well, that's a strong word. I have no feelings towards her. It's just that that was a very toxic relationship. I can't talk to her anymore. Uh, I have no ill will toward her, but that was probably one of the only good moments that we had because we would fight all the time, man. You know how that shit go. Intimacy is strong passion, and intimacy is a foundation of toxicity. So we was always fighting over some dumb, stupid shit just to kind of make up type shit, and crying and shit. And she was like, "Oh my god, come on, come back in, oh, come in." Never again. I can't go to that. You say you're getting too old for dogs? Yeah. Hmm. But okay, guys. I mean, like, well, you might have just got in, but where you plan on shorting that? Cause I'm looking at 92.10, and I'm looking at 93.50 for two areas for potential shorts. I want to see how the market reacts at these areas, but I think the market takes out this high. We might get like a fake pullback, and then we might see a stop run above 90. I guess it could kind of reject one more time from these highs, but I think the market runs these highs. I think they runs it. Yeah, I think it runs it, and then probably like 92.10, and then 93.50 maybe. 90 for a small one. Yeah, yeah, 90. Yeah, definitely 90. Like if it doesn't break 90, a good maybe like an 18 tick stop. Because if it runs 90, that shit's gonna run. It's gonna stop run above 90 if the bears don't hold it. So I wouldn't. Yeah, I wouldn't bet the farm on 90 to go short, but maybe a small piece of it. Maybe a small piece with a tight stop. If we get a failed breakout and then if it closes right below 90, I'll short it then and probably put a stop above that high or something like that. I mean, when you trade Nasdaq and then you go to something like CL or gold or silver or something like that that doesn't do all none of that foolishness that the Nasdaq does. Like I'm talking about this stuff because I know CL trades this way, and my mind is like, dude, what the fuck you talking about? Because my mind is stuck on Nasdaq. It's stuck on trading Nasdaq, and I'm always looking for that trap around the corner. But CL doesn't do that. Gold doesn't do that. Silver doesn't do it. You might get like and when it chops like this, you'll get the manipulation. But when you get the expansion, it's kind of, I mean, these trades are kind of straightforward. I mean, once the market kind of breaks structure to the upside, you can trade that pullback safely. Or if you get like a big drop, you can short the drop. I mean, you're not going to get the market to drop and then just recover without the market dropping in areas of supply. So but in the Nasdaq, we all know that yeah, she'll pick and choose when she drops at supply and demand. But uh, I looked at the charts after this morning's stream, and you see we got this gap. We have a gap open, a gap down open. The market chops to the downside. We get one good short, and then bam, bam. We get one good short, and then the bulls literally recovers. Now, I mean, the market did range. So, I mean, it's not like the market just didn't recover, but it literally disregarded all of this supply. It literally disregarded all of this. And it did that. And it looks like it can still go higher. That's my thing about the Nasdaq. That's why just like I can't take it seriously anymore cuz it's like at every point in time you're gambling. Because you're just like, well, is coming up into supply. Should I short it? No, because it's still bullish. But it's so deep in supply, I should short this. No, you can short it if you want, but you'll just become a liquidity donation. We don't want that. So yeah, you say you're just looking for 390. So do you trade the full mini or do you trade micros? When I trade CL, honestly, I feel like the micros are a waste of time. That's my opinion. I'm not saying that you should switch to CL. I just feel that because CL is pretty straightforward. Uh, Speak of the devil. My trading partner Smith just said that. Yeah. Uh, CL. He just got caught in the damn thing with CL. It's like, dude, if you trade Nasdaq, you can't go anywhere else. If your mind is, if you can't make that adjustment from Nasdaq, going to like commodities is definitely going to be a challenge because uh these instruments don't do the same thing that Nasdaq does. It will drop at supply. You're not going to get this thing going straight into uh it's going to just go past resistance like it's not there. We had all this bullish momentum on CL, and where did CL drop at? At supply that was made like 10 years ago or some shit like that. Look at where this is where it had all this bullish momentum, and look where it dropped. Look where it dropped. CL doesn't play about supply and demand. It does not play about that shit. You can trust it. Gold too. You can trust it. When it gets to supply, it's dumping. We'll probably see a continuation for sure, but my bad, guys. I did the wrong chart. What I meant to do was a month. Or I think you can probably see it on let me see. Let me do a weekly chart. Well, I mean, what I was showing is the same concept. Forgot that you got to kind of do it on the continuous contract. Do it on a daily chart. This, you see how it CL traded into supply from this supply zone all the way back in 2022. 2022. The supply zone from 2022. It was being respected 4 years later. If this was the Nasdaq, this thing would have got blown through. But not on those damn CL. Not on CL. And that's what I really enjoyed about CL was that I can trust certain moves. You can trust it. You do usually do like 5 micros. Yeah, I think honestly, I think that's perfect, honestly. Half a mini, in my opinion, is not too big, but at the same time, it's not too small. The position size is not too big, and the position size is not too small. It's just right. It's just right. I can have a bigger stop, and then I can have a bigger target, and I can still make decent money. I'm not making the big money, but it's money. I was debating if I should trade if I choose to if I choose to come back and trade CL, which I probably won't honestly, because gold is I mean gold and CL is like the same thing. It's really why would I trade CL over gold, black gold over gold, but uh, hmm. If I choose to trade CL, then I'll probably trade with 5 micros, but I'll probably start with because I mean I used to only trade with only one mini with a 27 tick stop. So I mean I'm only risking 27 ticks, $270 per position. CL doesn't necessarily push past 27. I mean if you're in the right area, you can get away with 27 ticks. I can't do that with gold, but I can do that with CL. I can get away with 27 tick stop, and I can have at least a 90 tick target and beyond, and make $900, 13, $1,500, only risking $270. So it's mm, we'll see. I think I'll probably have to kind of get readjusted, reacquainted with CL, and once that happens, then yeah. You say you traded when things are bad in the Middle East? Yeah. I mean, that's when it's the most volatile and you can get these big moves. Yeah, for sure. Really big moves. And well, according to this administration, we could be in the Middle East for a while. I seen something on TikTok and they was talking about the keeping their options open for a draft. And this was someone from the administration talking about it, not some rando talking about it. Well, I guess okay, so yeah. Anyway, and and it's interesting. People are talking about fragging and stuff like dude, you're not gonna frag your commander. They're not giving you grenades. This is people talking about like shit in Vietnam that they gave them the grenades. They're not giving you no damn grenade. They're not gonna give you one. And if you're in a controlled area, you have to turn in your weapons. You're not gonna walk around unless you're like a MP or security forces or something like that. You're not gonna have your weapon. You have to turn all that shit in. So it's interesting that people are talking about, yeah, if they get drafted, they're just gonna kill their commanding officer. Like that's gonna do anything except land you in or the military jail, brig or whatever they're calling it nowadays. And it's not like regular jail. Like just imagine being in BMT, basic military training, for years. You got to do this. Like from what I heard, you got to make your bed. You got to get up at a certain time. Uh, dude, that's horrible. But yeah, the brig, yeah. And then you could, dude, in wartime, that's treason. They haven't used the death penalty, but they need to make an example out of someone. So hopefully, you don't want to be that example. So I mean, I just found that very interesting that people are saying that. I can understand people's feelings about it though. Being drafted in a war that they don't believe in, and especially if people believe that it's not the United States war, it's another country's war. And we spoke about this yesterday. Usually, when that happens, if it's, I mean, if you're not the it's government's people, they don't care about you. I mean, I guess even your government doesn't necessarily care about its people, but you don't want to. I guess the idea of it, right? The idea of dying because another country. Anyway, I can understand why people are against it, though. I can understand it. So, uh, hopefully it doesn't escalate to that point. Hopefully, hopefully, we don't invade Iran. Hopefully, and that we require American soldiers to quote unquote have boots on the ground in a foreign land that they have, and the only thing that they can rely on is satellite images, surveys of the land. You can have a survey all you want, but if you're not familiar with the area, it's like home court advantage, and they will have the advantage. So I mean, I don't think that that would be smart. That wouldn't be the smartest thing to do, especially after what happened in Iraq, or I'm sorry, not Iraq, Afghanistan. We did not win that war, and not only did we not win that war, we left billions of dollars of weapons and equipment and things over there, and it was embarrassing on the world stage, literally embarrassing. And we're trying to do the same thing in Iran. It's not a good look. So hopefully it doesn't get to that point, because, like I said, because I live here in the United States, I was hoping that we wouldn't. I was hoping for this administration to do the right thing and to actually show the world that he's not incompetent, that he could be a good leader. But this whole thing that's happening now is just kind of, it's not a good look. It's not a good look for him, and it's not a good look for the United States. It's really not. And this is the first time that I've actually had an opinion about what's going on, and it's not a good one. It's really not a good opinion. It's honestly, it's very concerning. It really is, because I do have sons, and they're in that age, and I don't want them to be drafted if it comes to that. So I wouldn't want that to happen. Yeah, it is. Yeah, I saw that. I saw that. I saw that. And you can't attack something that's underground. I mean, I guess you can, but mm, yeah. But it takes. I mean, if you're gonna attack something that you can't see, you would have to know it's there. You would have to know it's there. You have to survey the land. You would have to. I mean, I don't know if thermal technology can see underground. I wouldn't think so. I wouldn't think it could, but I'm not very familiar with the technology, so I wouldn't be 100%. I can't say that with certainty. Um, I don't know. Thermal imaging. I don't know if it can penetrate underground. Maybe it can. I don't know. But if I mean, in order to survey the ground, you would have to have like some sort of aircraft, maybe a drone, and those can easily be shot down. So it's like, well, I don't know, man. It's not a good look. I don't think we should do that. Uh, yeah, I don't. But at the same time, yeah. Okay. Well, but for the most part, now gas is going to be super expensive, especially because now they attack one of their oil refineries, and I think from what I understand, that was illegal for them to do. But I guess people say, well, it's war, anything goes. But uh, if that was the case, then if anything goes, then anything goes, and I don't think we want that. So, okay. But all right, guys, that's gonna be it for me tonight. I enjoyed our conversation. We went off topic, but the market isn't really moving, so it didn't really present any good setup. So I mean, it was no loss. But I enjoyed our conversation. But all right, guys, I do appreciate everybody that joined me tonight. We'll definitely come back tomorrow morning, and we'll definitely look for more opportunities to earn some more money. And with that said, peace out, everybody, and keep on jabbing.